This video is sponsored by Audible. Go to audible.com/browntable or text Browntable to 500-500 to get a free book, 2 free Audible originals, and a 30-day free trial. For a limited time, get 3 months of Audible for just $6.95 a month.
We tried to make our characters have feet of clay. Now, poor Spider-Man. I mean, okay, he's pretty good at catching bad guys, but he's apt to get an allergy attack while he's fighting. He worries about dandruff. He'll have an ingrown toenail, tears his costume. His Aunt May won't let him go out to save the world because he's not wearing his galoshes and it's snowing out. The more realistic we make our characters, the more the college kids who read them think that it's satire, which has taught me a very great lesson. The world is so crazy that if you present things the way they really are, it comes across as broad satire. And
What does it mean to be Spider-Man? Who can be Spider-Man? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse asks and answers these questions and does so much more, and does it in style. This film aired in December 2018, and in 2018, Incredibles 2 already came out, and so did Wreck-It Ralph, or Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Isle of Dogs too. And yet, it is easily, at least to me, the best animated film of 2018 due to its story, style, cinematography, and overall message and theme. And it's these themes that make me realize that this might just be the greatest Spider-Man story ever told. The reason being, it's not a Peter Parker story, it's not a Gwen Stacy story, and it's not even really a Miles Morales story and he's the protagonist. It's a Spider-Man story. And to watch this movie, you have to forget who Spider-Man is, because Peter Parker is Spider-Man, right? You have to forget that. This movie is all about Miles Morales and his journey into becoming Spider-Man, because Spider-Man can be anyone. It tells this story in a much better way than in the comics, in which Miles Morales debuted as a very bland character in my opinion, and this movie made me fall in love with this character and all of the characters and all of their interesting and wonderful designs. And I was always in this mindset that Peter Parker was the only Spider-Man, and having more Spider-People meant that what makes Peter unique has been taken away from him. And while that is true, making him not the only Spider-Man adds so much more. Because that means in every universe, Spider-Man exists, and every character in that universe has surpassed trials and tribulations to become Spider-Man or Spider-Woman. Every character is their own, not a copy of Peter Parker. They're their own character, and that's what makes the Spider-Verse so unique. We have Spider-Man Noir, who shares Peter Parker's name but comes from a different time and was raised around different circumstances. Same as Gwen Stacy, who is motivated to become Spider-Woman because, spoilers, but if you read the comics, it's not a spoiler, and perhaps the strangest character is Penny Parker, who pilots Spider, a robot built by her father. And at one point in the movie boldly asks you to look at yourself and tell you that you, yes you, could be Spider-Man. And I think that's beautiful and poetic, because that transcends what the idea of Spider-Man is. He isn't a man, he's a symbol. It's a symbol that embodies the best qualities of us all. Everything that makes us human, as well as superhuman. And like the trailer of the film says, and I don't think this line is ever said in the movie, what makes you different makes you Spider-Man. I don't think it's stated in the film, again, but it is shown, it is displayed. Actions speak louder than words.
you could be any kid.
Yeah.
You could be black, you could be Asian, you could be Indian, you could be anything, and imagine you were in that costume. So I think that made it relevant to everybody everywhere, and that was accidental. I mean, I don't think we planned it that way, but it was very fortuitous.
Miles Morales in this film is the best interpretation of Miles Morales in any media, in my opinion. He's realistic and relatable. Like Peter Parker in his early years, he feels like you and me. The fact that we have some African American and Hispanic representation is also really cool as a Hispanic. He had realistic dilemmas of self-expression and wants to discover who he is, while at the same time wanting those he loves to accept him. The story of growth, trust, and acceptance is what propels Into the Spider-Verse towards the top of Spider-Man films. It's the only Spider-Man film that has made me cry, and when I cried like a bitch. This is a film that my mom called the best movie she's seen this year. And I mean, she hasn't seen that many movies this year anyway, but for me, it's gotta be in my top 5. This movie uses animation so beautifully, it sometimes reads like a comic with panels and everything, and uses every inch of the screen to showcase incredible visuals and animation unlike anything you've ever seen. The movie includes different types of art styles, including pop art, Robbie Rodriguez and Rico Renzi's Spider-Gwen aesthetic, and even anime and manga art styles, as well as frame rate differences and color palettes. And this is coming from the studio that made the Emoji Movie. This studio made the Emoji Movie. I don't know what happened. The movie cinematography is also something that should not be ignored. This scene in the trailers is also one of the best scenes in the entire movie, and it is so much power and meaning watching it in context. The fact that Spider-Man also has clothes on here and you can see how intensely they ripple due to freefall really drives home the point of how high Spider-Man is and how fast he's diving. Web slinging actually feels dangerous in this movie, and I love that. It kinda reminds me of Spider-Man 1 when Peter Parker was still learning how to swing. It's that crazy. Speaking of dangerous, the villains also feel dangerous. The stakes are insanely high, and an event happens early on in the movie that sets the tone, letting the audience know that this movie is not playing around. It's genuinely incredible, and I would love Vincent D'Onofrio to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as the Kingpin because I would love to see Spider-Man's interactions with Kingpin in live action. Miles Morales having Peter Parker as a mentor is amazing, and the movie never ceases to show off just how incredible and surreal Peter Parker Spider-Man is. The movie showcases the character as this larger-than-life icon, which will make every Spider-Man fan awe in amazement. Kind of like how Miles awes at Spider-Man because he is also a Spider-Man fan. This also adds to the ever-increasing pressure that he has to be as good a Spider-Man as Peter Parker, but that's the problem. He has to come to terms that he doesn't have to be Peter Parker. He just has to be himself, and own it. Now Stan Lee, the creator of Spider-Man, also appears in the movie, and he is a meaningful point in the story. Surprisingly, even though his cameo is a bit of a joke as usual, Bob Persichetti, one of the film's 3 directors, stated that the directors wanted to make Stan integral to the plot, stating that we achieve that, and his character has a key moment, and gives Miles a talisman. And genuinely, the moment sticks with you, not just due to seeing Stan Lee again, but remembering what he stands for. The movie does so many things right, and it's incredible, but all of it's due to the fact that it never forgets about the message it's trying to tell. Spider-Man isn't one man, it's a whole multiverse of people trying to do the right thing with the powers they're given. Spider-Man is a symbol. It's what The Dark Knight Rises tried to do, but viewers were so focused on John Blake being so inexperienced that they were missing the point of what the film was trying to say, the message being anyone can be Batman. And Spider-Verse most definitely succeeds in delivering the message to the audience, the message being anyone can be Spider-Man. Even you. So Miles Morales is still pretty much a kind of new character in the world of Marvel Comics, and has recently been popping up in all these Elseworld events like Spider-Verse and everything like that. Spider-Verse 2, I'm pretty sure he's the main character. And if you do want to know more about the character Miles Morales, you should definitely check out Audible. What is Audible, you ask? Audible is a leading provider of premium digital spoken audio information and entertainment on the internet. Audible content includes an unmatched selection of audiobooks and other audio products. Users can sign up as an Audible listener, which gives them book credits each month for a low monthly fee. Customers download their choices and can access them on their devices. See, if you're an Audible member, you get a free credit each month, every month, for a free audiobook, and it can be any audiobook they have in their collection. The cost doesn't matter, and if you don't use your credit, it can roll into the next month. It's an amazing feature, and that's how I got Miles Morales Spider-Man, the book I am reading right now. And I recommend you all to read this book if you don't really know who Miles Morales is, or are interested in continuing his story from Spider-Verse. The story in the comics are a little different from the stories of the movie, but it doesn't matter because those differences are what make the book so interesting. So remember, go to audible.com/Browntable or text Browntable to 500-500 to get a free book, 2 free Audible originals from a curated list, and a 30-day free trial. And for a limited time, get 3 months of Audible for just $6.95 a month. That's literally more than half off the regular price. And those Audible originals are really awesome. They consist of exclusive audio titles created by celebrated storytellers from all over the world, and they're not available anywhere else. So make sure to go to audible.com/browntable, link in the description. Everything is in the description. And thanks for coming to the table. I'll see you all next time.